Hi there. It's Tuesday, the 15th of July, and I'm in my hotel room in Helena, Montana. About to have my second night here, so I've had a whole day. Got in good time, sort of about 5 o'clock yesterday. Set up a number of things, so I set up the bike shop today to work on the bike. And so I've had a good day of getting everything off the bike, unpacking everything, repacking everything. I've done a resupply, gone to the supermarket, got enough food for about 6 days, which is probably too much. I've done a lot of route planning for the next 2 weeks, actually, to get me all the way to Rawlins. And did some laundry, did all the laundry, in fact, which was fabulous. Hotel's very well equipped for that. So that was really good. So it's fantastic. And obviously looked after myself in terms of like having a shower, got shaved and sorted out. Fantastic. And the bike shop did a good job on the bike. They got me a new tire. They replaced brake pads, the rear brakes, and did a general check and lubed everything and so on. And the bike's in great condition. So it is going to be good, even if I'm going to be the weak link in the whole equation. It's been raining all day here in Helena, which I knew it was going to do that. That was one of the reasons why today was an ideal day not to go anywhere. But it does mean that trails tomorrow will be muddy. And the elevation for tomorrow is a lot. So well over 1,800 meters. Which I have done on another day on the route so far, but I know it's going to be a long day, even though the actual distance is only 42 miles tomorrow to get to Basin. So I think that's probably the toughest day, maybe, in the next while. Although the day following is the one we hope we'll go to beyond Butte, and the one after that is Fleecer Ridge. So these next 3 days are probably the toughest tests, I think. Helena is a wonderful place, really interesting, lots of interesting things to see, shops, places to eat at. Very, very neat and tidy in the downtown area. Anyway, I've enjoyed my time here, but it's going to be good fun to get going again on the bike and see what these next 2 weeks have in store to get me down to Rawlins, which will be halfway if I get there. It's Wednesday morning and I'm about very nearly 10 miles into the ride, today's ride. Left Helena this morning about 7:30. Had a cup of coffee and a croissant, and it's a little bit chillier this morning. It was 9 degrees when I left the motel. The promise is that we'll get up into the mid-20s, and that will be the kind of temperature most of the week. I've just climbed the first of 3 climbs today. Very big climbing day today. The first climb obviously was the smallest. Second one will be the second, and then the third one is the giant challenge of Lava Mountain, which is going to take a very long time for me, I suspect, and will probably be my afternoon, I suspect. There might be a lot of pushing of the bike involved. So bike has got its lovely new rear tyre, new brakes, brake pads I should say at the back, which I've been bedding in by braking suddenly on descents there, just to get them to grip, which they are doing now, which is nice. So nothing wrong with the bike. It's just whether the rider has got the capacity to deal with the challenges. We shall see. We shall see. Once again, pretty spectacular environment. Amazing rocks today on the second climb of today. Temperature's still fairly low. I haven't heated up yet. I will get very hot shortly. The effort. Every day the vistas are different slightly as we move through different parts. That's the top of a lava mountain, crested. Now it's a matter of getting down. So I've done about 32 miles today, 10 miles to go to Basin. We're planning to stay tonight. Two other riders went past me about an hour ago. They were staying at the same hotel as I was in Helena, and they started just a little bit after me, about half an hour maybe. So, not too shabby. It's taken a while, obviously. There was a fair bit of pushing the bike, not as much as I thought actually. And yeah, I mean, it's beautiful scenery, it's lovely. Very interesting. And these roads are, well, roads, tracks are very rough. You're really going to get up here on very specialized vehicles like ATVs. So I made it over Lava Mountain today from Helena, and I'm now in a place called Basin, which is an amazing small town on one street. It's got a bar and restaurant, which is like the center of the town, and you can pay $5 and get a night's sleep in the community center hall next door, which is a thing they do for riders who are riding the Tour Divide or the Great Divide mountain bike route. It just so happens, obviously, that almost everyone I met at Llama Ranch a couple of days ago took a day off in Helena and have had the same idea as me, and they're all here. So it's going to be, I don't know how many people in there tonight. It's going to be quite interesting. Another interesting experience on the Great Divide mountain bike route. Yeah, weather's now lovely and warm. It was a bit cold at various points during the day and threatened rain, but never did it. I'm very glad to have achieved the goal of riding Lava Mountain, which is a notoriously difficult section. Good morning. It's just after 6:30 on Thursday, the 17th of July. And I'm in Basin, Montana. I slept in a tent in this little park behind me, next to the community hall, which is there. Mainly because there's 14 of us cyclists here, and I thought I might get a bit of night's sleep out in the tent. There's 3 of us with our tents up outside. I'm all packed up now, ready to go again. The hall itself is quite warm, mostly with all those bodies in it. But everybody's very disciplined and accommodating for everyone else, so it's been very pleasant. I'm hoping to do 55 miles today. So there's a bit of a climb first to get to Butte, which is quite a big place. Try and get past Butte. There'll be a lot of road riding for about, I don't know, 12 miles, something like that, probably more, 14. And then there's another climb at the end of the day to get to where I want to camp tonight, which is an informal campground, which means I have to do everything myself. There's nothing there. I have to bring water with me to get there. So that leaves me in a good position for tomorrow, when I'm going to be tackling, hopefully, Fleecer Ridge, the major challenge of the route. So that's the plan for today. Let's see what unfolds. Well, this is the kind of road between Basin and Butte this morning. Gradual up most of the time, but a really sparse valley. Cattle farming going on here, and it's quite warm already for 9:30, 10 o'clock. Well, I'm just about nearly at Butte. I've done 32 miles for the day. It's just going out to 1 o'clock already. I'm climbing, I think I'm just about at the peak of this shorter hill, the last one before Butte itself. I think it is a way of avoiding the highway. Did a few miles on the highway there. There's a lot more miles, obviously, on highway and city roads to get around Butte and get out the other side. I'm hoping that I will stumble across a convenience store or gas station where I can get a big cold drink and something for lunch. Otherwise, it'll be back to my staple diet of peanut butter tortilla wraps, woohoo, which aren't as bad as they sound, honestly. I've got used to them. Anyway, that's the latest. There down there in the valley on the plain is the city of Butte, and we've come up to a viewpoint here which is quite spectacular. Yeah, it's famous for mining. It was the copper kind of center. Copper controlled the town, and the people behind the copper mining industry controlled the town. It looks Very calm and peaceful down there today. So let's get on. So I'm in Thompson Park, south of Butte. At this part of it, I'm on a trail which is gentle 2% gradient because it was a railway. It's called the Milwaukee Road here, but it was a railway that went all the way from Chicago to Tacoma, I think, and was very busy, transported, you know, hundreds of thousands of tons of freight and down, and loads and loads and loads of people west. Eventually ceased use in 1980, apparently. It's not that long ago, in my opinion anyway. So nice to be among the trees and a bit of wind because it's been very hot today so far. So I'm heading up to the Highland Trailhead where I'm hoping to camp tonight. It's not far distance wise, but it's quite a climb, so it's going to take me some time. Well, it's about 6:10. I'm still climbing to where I'm going to camp tonight. But yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle in the last couple of hours because I was following the trail, got to a spot where it's turned off on single track and there was no way I was going to be able to get my bike on there, so I had to double back, take an alternative route, which was just as difficult in terms of effort. Very hard effort, but I've been rewarded with this spectacular evening up here. Amazing vistas, little lakes down there, rolling mountains off into this distant plains, you name it, it's all there. Yeah, so there are times you really have to force yourself to make the effort and push, and it's grim and you feel a bit, oh, why am I doing this? Then you see this and you go, yeah, that's why I'm doing it. So I've arrived and set up camp, and it is a spectacular place. It has to be probably the best place so far. There's not running water and there aren't showers and stuff like that, but there is a toilet, which is great. It's obviously it's part of the Continental Divide National Trail, so money's being invested. It's like a paddock, and you camp, you put your tent on a spot that somebody else has obviously flattened before. So sort of thing. That running water you hear in the background is me filtering some water which I collected earlier from a creek. You were recommended obviously to suspend all your stuff on a bear bag to keep anything desirable for bears out of reach. But you could, I guess, put it in the restroom, which has been subject to some violence, being used for target practice by the looks of it. Earlier on today I heard somebody shooting just where I was coming along, actually. About 24 shots in short succession. Well, it's Friday the 18th of July. I'm at the Highland Trailhead. Just packed everything up and ready to go. Have a breakfast and so on. It's a beautiful morning. Sun is coming up. It's going to be a hot one again, I reckon. Today's a big challenge, Fleecer Ridge. So I wanted to get up to this point last night so that I've got a descent to start the day. Then a bit of flat, then the big climb up to Fleecer Ridge, and then the famous very, very, very steep descent, which will take me down to Wise River, mid-afternoon I reckon, if all goes according to plan. Wise River is significant for me because it's a quarter of the way through the route. So probably a little behind on my schedule if everything was going to be evened out. But I think I'm going to be able to make some longer days, greater distances in the next 10 days or so. And my aim is to get to roll-ins by the end of the month. So that's the plan. Let's see how the body holds up, everything else holds up. Currently, it's all right. Getting a bit of cramp in the mornings. Doing some exercises to get around that, I think. We'll have to see. Anyway, bike's all ready to go. Let's get on the road. I'm traveling along this kind of plateau from the Highland Trailhead. So that was the highest point, I think, definitely. But there's been a fair bit of up and down, some of it quite steep up. It's a good way of getting warmed up. So I'm about 7 miles in the hour. Which seems to be my average pace, these climbing days. It's just lovely. This just come to a bit of a climb here. Looking out, the vista is amazing. Just a succession of hills and mountains into the distance. Beautiful still morning. Just the birds singing. Only wildlife are these ground squirrels that keep running across the road in front of me. And obviously there's cattle around. Yeah, beautiful. Morning. 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 So, we've arrived at the final challenge of Fleecer Ridge, the actual ridge itself. So that gently meandering track up there is very steep, but it's not as steep as the descent on the other side. But it's going to be steep enough. So this is half a mile climb up, and then a very steep descent after that. But it's amazing. This is iconic. This is one of the great sections, I guess, of the Great Divide Mountain Bike Route. Yeah, it's a notorious climb, legendary. Well, this is the top of Fleecer Ridge. Didn't manage to ride it all the way, sadly. Nearly. Now for the descent. Before that, though, I'm just pausing to take in the amazing vistas from here. Once again, just see so much of the Rocky Mountains stretching out every distance. It's a bit breezy up here. It's a headwind, of course, but let's see how long it's going to take me to get down. Well, that's up, over and down Fleecer Ridge. Yep, it's everything that people say it is. But it's great to experience it for yourself. It takes ages to get down because you're in danger of slipping, and the brakes are just about holding on your bike, and it's big heavy weight and sliding. And anyway, obviously the camera will not show anything like the significance of the steepness. 28% I think it said on my GPX today. Now on to Wise River, and maybe some refreshment if there's anywhere open. Well, that's the Wise River Mercantile, which means I've made it to Wise River, clearly. Significant because it's a quarter of the distance from Banff to Antelope Wells as far as my calculations are concerned. Taking a bit longer than planned to get here, a quarter, so I need to get my skates on and do longer distances, but very happy to be here. Got about another 10 miles to go to campsite, which is on another climb towards tomorrow. Still pretty warm, but it was a very nice ice cream I had from the Mercantile, and they're very cyclist friendly. They got water outside, got butane gas, so totally recommend it. The Mercantile here in Wise River. There are other places here that people frequent. It's a good place to have a meal as well, but I won't be doing that myself. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Well, I'm in the 4th of July campground. It's in the Beaverhead Deer Lodge National Forest. It's 46 miles since I started this morning from the Highland Trailhead. In that time, I have gone over the kind of plateau, rolling plateau from the trailhead, and then down, across the interstate, along the interstate a bit, and then the big long climb up Fleecer Ridge, which was relatively straightforward, up Fleecer Mountain really, and then you get to the part about a mile from the very top, which is the actual ridge, which takes you way up a hill, up a 2-track, and then the famous descent if you're heading south. Yeah, it was, I nearly cycled up all of the way to the very top of the ridge. I just slipped out of gear, unfortunately, at a crucial moment, and couldn't get enough power to get back in gear, so I had to push the last bit. Obviously then there's a lot of walking involved in getting down the other side safely. No photography, no video can show you what it's really like. It is, yeah, It's like a cliff in a way. So we have both brakes on and still the bike slipping. But anyway, just you've got a lot of time. So I got here about 5:45. So yeah, then went to Wise River at the bottom. Mercantile, had an ice cream and a drink. Signed the visitors book, which is nice. They really look after cyclists there. So it's a great place, Wise River. There's a series of like 5 Forestry Service campsites up this road. It's a beautiful road. There's some amazing vistas. I saw earlier on my way here. It was very flat for ages coming out of Wise River, about 5 miles of dead flat. And now it's creeping up. So between here and tomorrow's destination, which is Bannack, there is another pass to go over and another about 44 miles to do today. So it's been another great day, really enjoyable, great sense of accomplishment in getting Fleecer Ridge done. Great to be there and see it. It was absolutely beautiful at the top. Amazing. Anyway, so another day on the GDMBR. Good night. Good morning. It's Saturday, the 19th of July, and it's day 17 riding Great Divide Mountain Bike Route. It's, I don't know what time in the morning, 7 maybe. Today I'm riding to Bannack, so I'll be climbing up to around midday probably, maybe 2 o'clock or something, and then downhill to Bannack. So it should be about mid-40s miles to get there today. This has been a very nice campsite, very quiet. I mean, there are people here, very well laid out. There's kind of paved paths around the place. Very, very pleasant night here. Good night's sleep. Feel well rested. All ready for another day on the road. Yeah. So I'm getting used to. I think it's a way of life. You kind of get used to that, managing the complexities of food, supply, where you're going to sleep the next night, how long you're going to ride, nature of the route, all of that. It takes a while to get into it. And also, of course, getting the legs working properly and efficiently and so on and so forth. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm getting there. Should be a good day. This is a scenic byway, this road, and just everywhere you turn, there's incredible vistas of kind of flowing rivers, trees, vegetation, mountains going off in succession of levels into the distance. It's a beautiful sunny morning. Yeah, it's just great to be out here. Yeah. If it wasn't for the mosquitoes, it would be perfect. I'm at a kind of flatter area at the top of the climb. There's another hard bit to come, but this area is like a plateau here. Cows are grazing. It's just beautiful. Every day there's something new, even though the kind of context and the general kind of ingredients are the same. Mountains, trees, rocks. The configuration is just beautiful. Yeah, lovely. very different landscape from this morning. No trees really to speak of, and the mountains are distant. It's kind of sagebush, farmed cattle, meadows. There's hay being gathered places as well. Very windy. It's been windy since I started the descent really, with mostly a headwind. You know, that's part of it. This is kind of the West, isn't it? The Wild West. Well, it turns out I've arrived in Bannack on one of the two busiest days in the year, Bannack days. So lots of vendors come and sell things here in keeping with kind of country crafts, I guess, historic crafts, food. Everyone dresses up. There's horse rides, horse carriages going around, everything. So when I arrived, I thought I would never get a camping spot because the camping spots are all busy, but I did. They keep the hiker-biker ones. So I've got a fantastic spot down very near the creek. I'm all set. I was here in good time. I guess 3 o'clock or something, just after 3. My 46 miles today. So it's turned out to be absolutely amazing. Yep, learned a lot about Bannack, its history, and been very, very helped by the staff, the Montana State Parks Department, or whoever they are, and also park rangers and so on, and they're really, really helpful. Can't do enough for you, so it's really, really good. So the day has ended fantastically well. Big headwind today coming off the descent of that climb, but this is just wonderful. So I'm having a really good evening at Bannack. Good morning, it's Sunday, 20th July, and I'm just clearing out of Bannack State Park. I was in the Vigilante campsite, the hiker-biker space. It was really pleasant. I had a couple of chats with people nearby, had everything they needed. The park is gearing up for another busy day. It's another Bannack day today here for everyone. I'm heading south, hoping to reach Big Sheep Creek by this evening. So it involves a big climb up and over. I'm sure it's going to get hot, but at the moment it's just coming up to 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's been a bit chilly, but it's starting to warm. So let's see how it goes today. Yeah, we don't pass any kind of towns or villages or shops or anything today at all on the route. Latest. Well, just a man's just stopped in a truck and had a conversation. His grandparents had a farm here. He looks elderly. He looks like in his 70s probably. But he's got a cabin he's heading for. We were just talking about who ranches here, and he said what you see down here from where I turned on off the main road is one big ranch, and he said they're not hurting. So maybe that's the only way to make a living. Yeah, I don't know. This is quite, and you know, it's amazing to see this little oasis of greenery nestled in this valley, where you have to carve out arable bits of land where you can actually grow stuff and have animals and so on. And then your growing season is really limited because everything comes winter very fast and covered in snow. Yeah, it's great to be immersed. Cycling is a great pace to experience a world, I think, because you're going slow enough to really appreciate what's going on around you and immerse yourself in it, fast enough not to do your head in, which is what I think the hikers do. It's just slow, you know, too much time by yourself and not getting far enough. Anyway, onwards. So that's the thing about these dusty roads. Obviously any motor vehicles going past are creating a dust storm if they move at any speed. Did have one guy this morning coming the other way who actually stopped dead till I went past. He was very kind, just so I didn't get blown with any dust, but that's quite unusual. It's just part of the experience, regular dust showers. That device is a beaver slide, which I have learned since yesterday I learned about it. I saw it for the first time. I wonder what it's required for. It's for stacking hay and then into a big secure haystack that can be used to feed animals in the winter. Beef mostly, of course. It was all hand done with pulleys and people. Then it was horse powered, then mechanical powered, and now they don't make haystacks that big anymore. They make giant kind of rolls of hay and stack those instead. But the principle is still there. It's an amazing device. Huge. So that's a kind of architectural, kind of historic relic there. That particular beaver slide. Well, I've made it to the top of what I think we're calling the old... Oh, hang on. Big Sheep Creek. That's it. Big Sheep Creek Divide. It's got... it's very steep at the end. Actually, I knew it would be because I looked at the profile. I got here just as a couple of motorcyclists also got here. So they give me a round of applause, which is very nice. That was nice to have a chat with them. They're touring all over, and they've done the GDMBR on bicycles. 10 years ago, they said. I said that was enough. So that sign there is the only mark that we reached the summit of this route. The old Bannack Road. Boy, it would have been a tough job bringing freight along there. Although I have to say the surface was pretty good, especially towards the end, but very steep at the end. Anyway, I've got 15 miles to go to get to my campsite. Hopefully it's not going to pour on me. It's very cloudy and dark and threatening. Let's see. Well, I'm at Big Sheep Creek. You can probably hear it in the background. I'm pitched up and I've had my dinner. So in the end, I found the dispersed campground, the informal campground that I was aiming for, and it was very nice and everything. Obviously people had stayed there. But then I saw there were a number of others further on the route, and if I pushed on a bit more, then I would be taking some miles off tomorrow's journey. So what I did was I pushed on another 6 miles. So I've done about 65 something miles today. A big climb as well, and I'm here 6 miles out of tomorrow's journey, which is great because tomorrow does not have as much climbing. Once again, it's a fabulous place to stay for the night. I don't know if anybody else is going to come. It's got these cliffs behind, all around. It's like it's a gully, succession of gullies cut through by Big Sheep Creek, which allows the road to follow that creek down and get from the kind of, there's a plateau above where the climb finished today. Climb over the top. And then you were in this kind of valley, I suppose a sunken dish with a rim of mountains all around it. When you get up there, you think, oh no, I'm going to have to climb again to get out of here. But actually this gully cuts through, so you don't actually have to climb again. So there's the bridge nearby over the Big Sheep Creek. And so for bear hanging tonight, I have hung my bag from the bridge. It's quite deep, so water's deep, and even if you could stand on the water, I don't think a bear on tippy toes could get the bag, and I'm guessing they can't. I'm guessing their manual dexterity is not sufficiently developed that they can pull it up from the other side. Hopefully it'll stay there till morning. Anyway, that's my plan. There are no trees around to hang from in the traditional manner. This is the sign here at the bridge. And you can say, it does say you can camp here with the 16-day limit. That's pretty common. And obviously pack everything you bring in, you take away with you. Pack it in, pack it out. Yeah, beautiful situation here at Big Sheep Creek. So that's about 100 meters away from where I'm camping. Yeah. Didn't see many people, didn't see any cyclists. Nobody passed me, and I didn't see anybody coming the other way today, which is a bit unusual. Kind of getting into this now, really, routine. My legs are very solid, you know, I kind of feel the muscles are very hard. Obviously, never exercised them quite as strenuously in succession of days as I have now. So I'm curious to see what happens. So nothing's actually hurting yet, which is a good thing, obviously. I hope nothing will hurt. Yeah, let's see. Tomorrow, yeah, into a different sort of area, heading east, climbing a bit, but then rolling along. And after, you know, the first part of the day, getting to Lima, hopefully for a bit of a resupply and maybe a late breakfast, second breakfast, as the hobbits would say. Anyway, that's all for today. Good night. Good morning. It's Monday, the 21st of July. It's quite early in the morning. It's 6 o'clock. I've been up for an hour already. Packed up a lot of the bed stuff in the tent. And I've been off and retrieved the food and other bear attractants from under the bridge. They all survived. The plan worked. No bears were ingenious enough to work out how to get it. I had a lovely night's sleep, really, really nice. Very, very nice. It was very cozy in the bed. Lovely sound of rushing, you know, not tumbling stream water all night. Very nice indeed. One vehicle has been passed already, taking cows somewhere. But other than that, no human contact yet this morning. So I'm just waiting for my coffee to brew, and then I'll have my oatmeal and get moving. It's 3 weeks that I've been on actually cycling, and kind of feel that I've begun to get the hang of it at long last. And kind of balancing everything, working everything out, relaxing into it, just not panicking about things, stressing too much. So following the creek downwards out of the valley, so heading towards the interstate. So follow the route, follows for a few miles on a frontage road, and then head to Lima, where I'm hoping I'll get a few things and crack on with the rest of the day. Destination, target is Red Rock Lake Upper Campground. Whoa. Got a bit of washboard on this road this morning. So already met 5 cyclists all heading northbound this morning. So that was nice to catch up, get some intel on things to look out for, like the all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet in a town a few days away. Definitely looking out for that one. Whoa. up here. Okay, so yeah, beautiful sunny morning, beginning to warm up at last. Sun is coming above the mountains. Every day, slight variation or quite dramatic differences. Yeah, every day is like a kind of separate experience. It's all been fantastic so far. Well, just over 30 miles for the day, just after 12 o'clock. I'm, as I said, planning to do 75 today. So had a great breakfast in Lima. It was great because, in a way, kind of been looking forward to it for a couple of days, maybe 3 days even. You know, so I had lots of coffee, whole works, and it was very nice. And they were very friendly and very helpful. There's charging in Jan's Cafe restaurant. Yeah, so all you could ask for. And then I got a resupply across the road at the gas station. That's Ralph's store. Have everything you need as well there, which is great. Even got some fruit. Oh, hey. So yeah, that was a really good hour and 20 minutes spent. Even if it means it's cycling a bit later today, I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a great day so far. Territory kind of landscape, quite similar to yesterday. Only obviously we're not climbing, we're going up and down a lot, but it's quite, you know, it's not bad actually. Cause you get the descents and then you roll up the ascents. A lot of cattle here. The valley is very fertile because there's a nice creek running through it. We're heading up towards the reservoir, Lima Reservoir. I can just see the dam ahead. And then there's clear water, there's some other lakes. And I'm aiming for Red Rock Lake later on today. So yeah, another great day on the GDMBR. Very, very severe headwind from the south, which is of course direction I'm currently cycling. So time is marching on, and I'm up to 47 miles and it's 5 to 4. So I should get there, who knows by when, but please ease off on the wind. Hello, it's evening time. We made it to my intended campsite, which is Upper Red Rocks Lake. So it's a national wildlife sanctuary, has been since 1935 apparently, mainly for trumpeter swans, but for anything really. So there's a really nice campsite here right on the edge of the lake with fresh spring water, pit toilets, which is fantastic, bear boxes, yay, and it's the princely sum of $7 a night. So currently here are 5 bike packers like myself, including myself, I guess, in that number. Nobody else is camping, but yeah, it's an absolutely fabulous location once again. Yet another one. So I'm very, very grateful be able to have so many lovely evenings, lovely ends of the day. It was a very interesting day because it was very tough. There's a lot of effort went into getting here today. It was quite long. I knew it was going to be long, and there wasn't much elevation. We were mainly in a big flat plain behind Lima. So once we got through Lima, climbed a bit to the reservoir, then it opened out and there was a big plain with mountains around the edges, and we went on a rather strange route, crisscrossing this plain at 90 degrees, turning and then 90 degrees back. So the main problem was headwind. There was a southerly headwind for a lot of the time whenever I was going south, and an easterly headwind whenever I was going east. And it was really intense, so it was slowed me down probably half the speed, maybe more, than I could have been doing. And obviously the road rolled as well, you know, up and down, which wouldn't have been so bad. It's just the headwind was really, really slow. So got here about 7:10, having left Big Sheep Creek this morning at 7:30ish. So yeah, another beautiful day on the GDMBR. Lovely scenery everywhere, great cloud formations, big open skies, plenty to see. Just a different experience every day, even though, you know, in a way the landscape is only kind of morphing generally. So anyway, this is my last full day in Montana because tomorrow, all going according to plan, we cross the border into Idaho for one night. So we just nip the corner of Idaho tomorrow, and my aim is to camp. Is for a campsite in Idaho tomorrow. So see how that goes. Anyway, that's the end of Monday, the 21st of July. Nighty night. Good morning from Red Rock Lakes. It's been a very nice morning so far. I'm up same time as usual. Packed a fair bit away, had my breakfast, and could do the last bit of packing and all of that sort of stuff, get everything away. The two of the guys who were here, who I've met before, are well on the way to getting going as well. I think they've got a similar kind of plan that I've got in terms of where we're going to aim for the next few days. Anyway, today's the last day in Montana, into Idaho. After the first climb, that's the kind of border. And then we'll have one night in Montana before I head to Wyoming. So a quick change of successive states. But it's a spectacular location again. This is just an amazing place. There's a grove of aspen trees and a stream, a well, spring. It's been supplying running water. The lake itself is quite heavily polluted with the bird life that's here, so you wouldn't want to be taking your water from that, that's for sure. Even though the actual view as the sun comes up there, it is spectacular. You know, it's very nice. And then the bird sounds are lovely and so on. Yeah, don't drink from the lake. So I've made it to the border, not with Mexico, but with Idaho. So that's the end of Montana, and now for a brief 80 miles. So the route spends in Idaho and then on to Wyoming probably tomorrow. So yeah, that was pretty much the only climb of the day. I think there are other adventures, single track and all sorts of other things in store before I get to camp this evening. But it's another beautiful sunny day, of course. It's about 12 or 13 miles from where we started this morning to get here. But yeah, pretty exciting to be in another state. Yay! I've actually come back a few meters just to photograph this because I've never seen them move before. So if you look at Google Earth pictures of America, or anywhere, I guess, the climate's hot. You see these big circles. This is formed by this circular irrigation pattern. So it looks like it moves for about a minute and then stops for a minute and so on. It's amazing. This is how you make farming work here, I guess. So it's about 4 in the afternoon. I'm on these gravel restraint, I don't know, for fire roads or what, south of Island Park. It's a very interesting place, not from a sociological point of view. Not that I want to spend too much time there. But a small section on a very busy Highway 20. Stopped at the gas station, had an ice cream, talked to some people who were in a ATV. It's good fun, that was interesting. And I've got absolutely rained on, thunder, but before I got very wet, I got under shelter of some trees, so I waited it out. It threatened to come back again, but it's been fine. So it's moving across from the west to the east, and the route is going south, so it's kind of trying to outrun it because the blue sky's ahead. Anyway, but the big news of the afternoon is I saw a moose, yay, and a calf running off on my right hand side. Absolutely certain it was a moose. I can tell what a moose looks like, and it was. So there's another one to add to the collection of beasties. So I reckon I've got maybe 15 miles to go. So I'm on the rail trail, which is Now following the course of the Warm River through its canyon. Rail trail cuts, the railway line cuts through various mixed cuttings to keep the line as level as possible. It's absolutely beautiful, amazing route. Good morning. It is Wednesday, 23rd of July. It's about 5 to 8 in the morning. I just climbed out of the valley where the campsite was last night and heading off for today's leg of the journey. There's a fair bit of climbing today, and the distance we're aiming for 62 miles. So hard work, I think, today, but always spectacular. So just turning off onto some gravel now. The ambition is to get to Colter Bay, so this could be my second and final day in Idaho. All goes according to plan. Not that I have anything against Idaho, just have other states to get to, other parts of the journey to do. So big shout out to Tony, the host at Warm River Campground, who let me have a pitch next to his trailer for free. Let me recharge my electronic devices all night, which is fabulous. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. So, really pleasant evening. Brian and Tom, other two cyclists who are on roughly the same schedule as me, had a good chat with them, good company, and they're off riding at the same time as me this morning as well, with the same ambition to get to Colter Bay. So let's see what the day holds. We're in Idaho still, and I think that behind me is a big field of potatoes for the potato state. In the distance where I'm heading, and slightly to the east, looks like some heavy rain going on there. So heading south at the moment. At some point we're going to turn east. We're kind of skirting the edge of Yellowstone Park. So at the moment heading south along one edge and then return 90 degrees and go along the eastern bottom once we get into Wyoming. And in the distance, I just should have realized, now that the clouds have cleared, that's our first view of the Tetons, where we're heading. Colter Bay is across Jackson Lake from the Tetons, so that's our first sighting of those. Oof. About the last 8 miles, the road has been stony, very, very stony, and it's very slow going. It's going, but averaging sort of like 6 miles an hour or something like that, and it's a really bumpy ride, and you have to pedal every stroke. You can't freewheel anywhere, even when there's a bit of downhill. Anyway, it's all part of it. It does look like I'm on my own, but there have been a steady stream of vehicles of one kind or another going past. And I'm following the tracks of my two intrepid co-cyclists who are ahead of me. I'm about a mile from the border with Wyoming. I'm hoping that the good citizens of Wyoming have a different standard of gravel with no stones. That would be great. Let's see. So that's Indian Lake back there, covered with very heavy layer of plant growth, water lilies, that looks it. Habitat to loons apparently, and it's close to human use at the moment because it's breeding season for loons. So in Wyoming, and the standard of the gravel has improved a little bit. Hopefully it'll hold out and get much better. So here we are, out of the Targhee National Forest and into the John D. Rockefeller Jr. Memorial Parkway, which is part of the National Park Service. There's a number of camping sites here, and then we end up joining the highway and turning south and heading for Colter Bay. Yeah. So the road has been a bit rough surface-wise, up and down, up and down, up and down. Climbing has been alright. Surface has slowed me down really today. Beautiful day, of course. And I wish there was some way of capturing this smell of the coniferous forest. I suppose it's a bit like Christmas tree. More concentrated, a bit more mixed. That's definitely Rocky Mountains to me. Onwards. So I've made it to the Grand Teton National Park. Only about 10 miles to go to Colter Bay. Big climb up the hill to get to here, I can tell you. Never mind. Well, I'm at the Colter Bay Marina. Sun is setting down there on the horizon. Biggest news is I've had a shower, which is amazing. And I'm about to try and find something to eat without having to cook it myself, ideally. Rumour is there's pizza available somewhere. This is a very popular holiday destination for obvious reasons. It is just picture postcard perfect view of these amazing rugged mountains. So there's a hiker-biker section. Got in there. The guy, Tom, a ranger, at the campsite was very, very helpful. Took me around on his golf buggy, got me paid and got me all settled in. And it's got everything you would need. One of the landmark destinations. And this is the end of another map in the Adventure Cycling Association Great Divide Mountain Bike Route map series. So this will be my third map. Finished, so I'll move on to number 4 tomorrow. Good night.